Hello, everybody. It's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to War on the Sea. It is August 22nd of 1942. That is just, 15 days into the Guadalcanal campaign in our game, and things are getting interesting. We've had quite a bit of action in just a few days. This game seems it pushes the action very strongly. We have, even lost track. Let's just take a quick look at the summary here. In terms of losses, we've lost a fair amount of cargo ships, many of them with Marines on board, unfortunately. But we've lost 1, 2, 3, 4 C3 merchant ships, which has sort of been the bulk of our tonnage lost. We have also lost a Mahan-class destroyer, and then 4 Fletcher, actually 2 Mahan-class destroyers, and it looks like 4 Fletcher-class destroyers, so I'm the killer of destroyers. We also lost 1 Atlanta-class light cruiser, 1 Portland-class heavy cruiser, and 1 Tambor-class submarine, the Tautog. So in total, we've lost 13 ships for 79,000 tons, and 46 aircraft have been lost so far in just a little over 2 weeks. With that being said, the Japanese losses in many ways are worse. So far in the war, the Japanese, I wish you could filter by class type rather than like going down chronologically, but the Japanese have lost I think they've lost 3 heavy cruisers. Let's see, they lost the Ashigira, which is a Miyoko class heavy cruiser. They have lost the Chokai, which is a Takao class heavy cruiser. I thought they lost a 3rd heavy cruiser. Oh yeah, and they also lost the Takao itself. Oh, and the Miyoko. So they've lost 4 heavy cruisers. They've lost 3 submarines. They've lost quite a few destroyers. 5 submarines and quite a few destroyers and several light cruisers. In total, they've lost 18,000 tons for 18 ships for 101,000 tons. But those 101,000 tons are 100% warships. In our case, our 79,000 tons are somewhat mitigated by the fact that 48,000 of that is merchant ships, which does not reduce our combat power. It does reduce our command points, because we still have to pay to get those ships. But 48,000 tons of our losses are non-warship losses, whereas the Japanese fleet, which has far less wiggle room, especially I think they have like 13 total heavy cruisers in the entire fleet, they have lost 4 of them. And the light cruiser losses are pretty stiff as well. They can probably deal with the destroyer losses thus far, and maybe the submarine losses. I'm not sure how many they have, but probably less so with the light cruisers and the heavy cruisers. They really don't have a lot of those. The Japanese kind of stopped building light cruisers for a while, historically during sort of the treaty cruiser period, and so a lot of their light cruisers are these like interwar designs or like late World War I designs that are great for torpedoes, but their guns are pretty weak. And they don't really hold up gunfire-wise to the American light cruisers, although their torpedo armaments kind of are nice. Anyway, with that being said, we have not lost any heavy... Well, we lost 1 heavy cruiser in that 1 surface action. But you can see here we also have 4 submarines currently under repair in the dockyards. They'll be getting ready in a couple of days. We have the Portland class Indianapolis heavy cruiser, and the Atlanta itself also will be ready in a few days. And we've got 2 destroyers still being repaired as well. When we ended the last stream, by the way, we had put 4 torpedoes into the Japanese battleship Yamato. So you can see that the Yamato had swung around the Milne Bay and the tip of New Guinea and has or at least they've had 2 surface task forces in the last 2 weeks bombard Port Moresby. So we did manage to get our Avengers up, and we put 4 torpedoes into the Yamato. She did not sink, however, and they just bombarded Port Moresby at the end of our last stream, and so the airfield is out of commission now for about 4 hours. So presumably the Japanese may get away, although with heavy damage and with the Yamato being removed from action for a period of time. Van Krusty, not sure when I'll play. I might actually. I was talking to Slytherin. And, I'm not really sure, honestly, Van Krusty. I would like to play some more Slytherin games. Not sure when. I was playing some Field of Glory 2, but maybe some Panzer Corps 2 at some point. Unity of Command as well, but I don't know when. I think this game's kind of taking my attention at the moment. But I was talking to Slytherin because I have been participating in the Field of Glory Medieval tournament, which they were doing for creators as sort of celebratory for Field of Glory 2 Medieval, which just came out. And so I did post one video with my battle against Lionheart X10, Lionheart X10, or just Lion X10. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking, and I think he's Lionheart X10. Anyway, he's a giant YouTube channel, and so I'll be posting the second part of that video probably later this week. But I don't know about Panzer Corps 2. I do want to get back to it at some point in time, but honestly, at this point, I feel like Panzer Corps 2 and Unity of Command are kind of filler games. Not that doesn't mean anything against them. It just means sort of like right now, this game just came out, and it's sort of my focus for the time. Okay, one other thing we did find out when we bombarded Guadalcanal is that it is a level 4 airfield, which explains why they can spam so many dive bombers and other things against our surface vessels. We are trying to get a landing force in Task Force 6 into Guadalcanal. We had some intelligence that there might be Japanese heavy cruisers nearby, or cruisers in general, because we had some float planes that look like surface warships, which is a little bit concerning. I do want to unload. I do have 1,200 Marines left. I set sail with 3,600 Marines, or actually, what was it? 3,700 Marines, and I land, and 2 of those ships have been sunk, and we're down to 1 ship with supplies. So I can't unload these guys yet. They've got to be within 6 nautical miles. If we take a look at their course, they're still about 40 nautical miles and 3 hours away. So I'm not sure they're going to make it, but we'll see. That's kind of the current situation right now. We are also unloading some fuel here at Ranelli Island. So Ranelli now has 100 fuel. We need to get more engineering support up to the island as well. But I could start working on building that airfield out. It's got a level 1 port and a level 1 airfield. But I could work on starting to build that airfield out to a level 2 so we can get more than just fighters out of that base. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and send these guys back. We kind of sprinted them out there without escort, so hopefully there's no Japanese submarines laying in wait. And for these guys, for Task Force 6, let's see if we can't get some aircraft aloft to try and help them out and give them a little bit of air cover. So we'll go ahead and send these guys up here. They'll be here in less than an hour. So they'll be around soon, hopefully, if there's another enemy dive bomber attack on this task force. But they'll be at least, it'll take about an hour for them to get into position. Meanwhile, we have some surface vessels, the Brooklyn, North Carolina, and Kazan, which are returning to New Hebrides. The North Carolina needs to rearm, probably repair a little bit. The Brooklyn also suffered some damage to enemy air attack, and so did the Kazan. Or no, the Kazan didn't. We transferred her from the landing force, so she may survive because she was pulled out of that landing force. So we need to get them back to New Hebrides so they can probably spend a few days repairing. Meanwhile, we also have the San Diego, which is on its way back to New Hebrides. It's getting very close. She took a lot of damage from enemy air attacks ahead of the surface battle that we had the North Carolina engaged in, but we have to get her back to repair. And then once some of these ships come off repairs, I believe we get command points back, so we should start being able to build up a new formation, a new fleet to maybe push north and see if we can't land on the Florida Islands or Guadalcanal itself. With that being said, let's go ahead and unpause and see how long we have till enemy air attacks occur. All right, so we've got enemy submarines that our Wildcats have spotted here off the Guadalcanal coast. We're going to ignore that. They're probably far enough away to not be a threat to Task Force 6, and I don't want to spend my aircraft's ammo on strafing something they won't sink. All right, so there's another float plane that's being encountered here by this task force. How close are they now? They're not within 6, that's for sure. What are they at now? 28 nautical miles. Thanks for the follow, Dr. Priest, and no waifu Funolifu 69. Yeah, I can't read that right now on stream. I don't know what that actually says, but thank you. All right, so I think we're going to ignore the float plane for now. We're just going to focus on trying to get them closer to the port. Any ships spotted near Port Moresby? These are the battleships, I think, that are heading away that had the Yamato in them. Still 3 more hours till we can get more Avengers out. There's a chance we could catch these guys on their return leg. Do we have any? All we have is Wildcats here, so that doesn't really do us much good. All right, so let's give these Wildcats a... They've got 102 miles left of cap. So let's kind of... I'm hopeful that maybe I could intercept enemy air attacks out prior to the fact that they would get to the task force, but I think they'd be within the radius of the task force anyway if they take off from Guadalcanal, so it's unlikely we would, you know, get in there before they drop their bombs. Let's keep going, boys. We got 47 nautical miles left in our coverage of the fleet, which in the grand scheme of things is not much. So if we go here, back, back, we've got about 2/10 of an hour left until we've got a RTB. Meanwhile, the task force has 2 hours left till they get to the destination. Now, they don't have to get all the way there, but they still have to get like 3/4 of the way there. So, we'll see. Oh, shit. Dive bombers. Fuck, we're not within 6 nautical miles. We're so close. Oh, no. It's like the AI knew to wait until exactly when my dive bomber or my fighters were gone. And the moment my fighters were gone, they attacked. I mean, I can't make a choice, Tremors. At this point, it's too late. FYI, you won't be able to disembark if there's nearby forces. Well, you've got to be able to disembark even if there's an airfield, right? I mean, right now we're still like... We're literally like 6 miles too far away. Let's go ahead and get these ships up to flank speed. The lead C3 is the one we've got to steer from. The rest of the task force... Well, actually... So where's the... Enemy formation's coming head-on. So this formation with the Marines, I'm going to immediately bank and hope that the enemy doesn't line up on it. I'll try to present this lead C3 as the primary target. You can see the enemy fighters are changing their course. They might be lined up on it. I don't know. The rest of the formation is going to continue per normal. I'm going to bank the other way as these enemy aircraft get close. You can see these goddamn Val dive bombers. Here they come. They're not even shooting flak at the right target. They're shooting at the fighters again, aren't they? Oh no, they're strafing the lead target. The fighters are strafing the lead target. So that lead target's a goner. Just a question of where the dive bombers come in on. They do tend to split their fire on more than one target. Dive bombers appear to be going for the other cargo ship, as best I can tell. The one that we're... This is the one with the Marines, by the way. These enemy Zeros are coming in. 1-0 was shot down. They bombed the rear destroyer with that lead dive bomber formation. Nice. They missed. Their bombs all missed this lead cargo ship. So that should be it. That should be the attack. They put one bomb into the case. Moderate damage. Also, it looks like her, if we go to damage control... Well, I don't know if that's her rudder or not. It's not. It's the front of her ship. The bow got hit. The other C3 got strafed pretty bad. Heavy damage, moderate flooding, so she may sink. But we should be able to at least get the Marines ashore with no supply. With no supply, right? Good luck, Marines. This is like the opposite. This is like we're playing the Japanese side, but actually we're the Americans, but playing like the Japanese. All right, so our ships all made it out. How close are we now? Are we still the same distance? We're 10 nautical miles-ish. So is there any way, whoops, to just, it's basically we're an hour out. Is there any way to choose a different, I don't want to go to max. Okay. We'll go to times 60 speed because I don't want to go to max and then like rush into another battle. I want to see if I can get the ships close enough without triggering another attack. If I do max speed, it'll probably blitz us right past the point. So let's see here. Are we close enough now? We might be. No. Okay. I can't even zoom in far enough to see how close to the base we are, or if they're even following my orders. We'll go until noon and see if we're close enough then. Well, I guess we'll go 12:05. So if we pause, can we unload now? We unloaded our troops at Guadalcanal! We landed troops there, boys! So we have 1,200 Marines ashore with 1,400 supply. The base appears to be smoking. So it looks like the Japanese definitely have the upper hand here. You can see the blue is obviously very far down the totem pole versus the red. Now, I don't know if that means we need that many troops, but you can see there is a burning, smoking icon here, which represents the fact that there is a land battle going on. With that being said, let's get these guys the hell out of Dodge. I'm sure there's enemy subs are going to try and play with us. So let's do this. Let's try and divert north. I know this might be a weird escape route, but I feel like it might actually be safer to head north because there is an enemy airfield here at the Florida Islands, I believe. I could be wrong. But if we escape north, this is not an area that their float planes have seen any of our shipping out that way. So I doubt there's enemy submarines out that way. If Tom Brady was alive in Hawaii December 7th, the outcome would have been different, Viper Dave. No, I'm not. I mean, I don't think I can bombard, can I? Battleships, battle cruisers, or heavy cruisers are required to bombard. Yeah, I don't have any of those. So we can't stay to support, really. Flank speed, boys. I know that's not very fast, but... Aircraft spotted, sir. Coming up our pipe. You've got the zeros in front, and you've got the vowels behind. Ooh, cool. Fighters banking off to the right. Right full rudder, turn the formation. Second ship in line, go left full. Now let's go watch them on the dive bombing run. You've got the zeros down low on the deck, preparing to strafe. I wonder if they're going to eat all the flak fire. I don't see any flak, but they're shooting at someone. I can see the flashes. Yeah, they're shooting at the zeros. They always shoot at the goddamn zeros. Where are the zeros going to go after? Both cargo ships are empty now. 1-0 going down there. You can see, yep, they're strafing the rear cargo ship, which had the Marines on it, but no longer. They didn't get any explosions there on the deck. Let's get another zeros going down. Looks like these guys are going after this destroyer. So go ahead and turn this. Why are they doing level bombing with their dive bombers? Why don't they dive? I've seen them dive before. Ah, they missed. Good job, boys. I think they may have hit this guy. Actually, no bombs hit so far. Oh, just as I say that. Hit, 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 hit. 5 hits on a C3. The C3 I was looking at. Well, she's a goner. Good thing she got the Marines off. Critical damage. Dead in the water. Critical flooding. Well, at least we shot down, and it doesn't matter at all, but we shot down several enemy aircraft. And at the end of the day, the cargo ship did its job. Good job, boys. You got the Marines to the beach. Honestly, guys, I'm kind of tempted to just say screw it for that last remaining cargo ship. Guys, my troops are going to hate, or my merchant marine's gonna hate me. Ah, I didn't click that. Well, cargo ship, you're gonna keep going north, but my destroyers are gonna flank speed it out of there. Don't worry though, guys. I've got some fighter cover on the way. They'll be able to hang over you for like 2 hours. All right, I'm going to jump these B-17s into the world because I think there's an enemy submarine around. Pause. Submarine spotted, sir. Directly off our left. Your orders, if you choose to accept them, are to bomb this submarine with 2,000 pounders. Hey, Comfit, we landed Marines on Guadalcanal. We've got 1,200 men ashore with some supplies. That's about all you've missed, and a bunch of air attacks. Oh, and I abandoned my cargo ship. B-17s are turning into action. Gotta love the army camo on these 17s. We're gonna lose contact because the sub is pretty much for sure going to dive. But if it doesn't dive soon enough, what we learned in the last attack is that we can still destroy these guys. Maybe she won't make it under. No, she's going under right now, but she's not going to be deep enough. She's going to die, guys. Let's pause. Is there any way to go down there and see the enemy sub? Whoa. There we go. Let's see what happens to her, boys. She's dead. For sure. You can see the hull just got ripped apart by those. I mean, she's really shallow. And the whole side of the ship is all pockmarked. She's going under for sure. There's the third group of bombs coming down. Just got to wait for her probably to get down to crush depth. But you can see she's already listing under the water too. tail gunner window screams B-17G. Well, they technically are classified as the F, but you can see her going down fast and she's sinking. Yeah, I mean, I guess a submarine, if it was at like periscope depth, would not do well versus 17s. You know, hitting them with 2,000 pounders just a few feet above. I'm sure the shockwave would crush that sub like a frickin' can. All right, so victory there. Another enemy sub down. That seems to be my ultimate weapon against enemy submarines is P-17s. Look at that glassy sea. Torpedoes in the water! Torpedoes in the water! Flank speed! Alright, level out. Maybe you can outrun these torpedoes if you speed up a little bit. You're going on an angle perpendicular. Several of these are going to miss for sure. Come about to starboard. I think I got it, guys. I think we're safe. But I did fail geometry in high school, so... Hard over! I feel like going hard over is going to slow me down and make it more likely to get hit. I'm turning into the torpedo. This is not a smart move. One of them's going to hit for sure. Two are going to hit. Damn it! It's just a flesh wound! Why couldn't you get hit on a better angle so I could get a better screenshot of you sinking? Stupid ship. Can't even sink right. Alright, well. RIP. At least we don't have to worry about getting attacked every 2 seconds now, but... Alright, well you guys can't even get down to protect the destroyers, so... How far can our... I don't think our I-4Fs can make it out that far. Nope. Meanwhile, we haven't detected anything out this way. So, it looks like the enemy may have gotten away. Oh no, dive bombers! Dive bombers are going after these guys. My fighters aren't in range yet. 3 destroyers are still going to get dive bombed. Alright, I want you to switch to line ahead, flank speed. Turn your radars on, boys. Let's try and dodge us some bombs. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dive bomb. Enemy aircraft. Where are these guys? I can't see them. They're back there. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a bomb. Confucius. All right, we're going to turn hard over now. So the ships in line follow. They got to be close. We should be firing flak at them by now, I would think. Oh, they're there. They're up here. Wonder if they're gonna come in on a level. Aha! They missed! Hell yeah! Switch the rudder back the other way. Hard over yourself, sir. Level bombing, not the best strategy for most bombing, especially of highly maneuverable ships, perhaps? Oh god, I say that and Cass takes 2 bombs. She's gone. She's gone. Critical damage. Abandoned ship! Not sure if that sounds more like an abandoned ship alarm or a dying cat. You guys be the judge. Okay, time to leave. THG, please stop jinxing yourself. Don't worry, boys. They're safe. They made it out. You had deja vu just now? Rip. Burning stem to stern as she slowly begins to slip underneath the waves. So ends the story of the USS Cass, a Fletcher-class destroyer. She made it all the way to Guadalcanal to unload 1,200 Marines to begin the first U.S. counteroffensive against the Japanese. But on the return voyage, she was lost to enemy-level bombing. After a day full of air attacks, one last raid just before sunset struck her with 2 bombs amidship, breaching her hull, setting the ship ablaze, and dooming her to a watery grave. She's not sinking. She's entering submersible phase. USS Cass. Clear the bridge. Ready for... dive the boat. The board is green? I think it's interesting how the music changes in these battles. Like, before the air attack, and I don't know if it's deliberate or not, before the air attack, though, there was, like, kind of this, like, high-pitched tempo-type music. And now as the ship is sinking, you've got, like, this slow, melancholy type ballad, which could be deliberate. I want to give the game developers credit and say it is deliberate, but I could be wrong. Will THG have any destroyers when the task force returns? Find out next time on Butcher Ball Z. She slips beneath the waves. The American flag is the last thing that will... No, that's not true. She's going to go in bow first, so the stern's going to be the last thing. It would make for a good movie, though, for the last thing to slip beneath the waves be the American flag. Technically, you got that radar post up there. There goes the flag. No! I can still hear the fire burning. That feels a little bit wrong. All right, so the enemy lost 2 more aircraft. We lost the destroyer Case. Get the hell out of there, guys. Wait, what is this? Task force? Oh, yeah, they're bringing supplies. Okay. God damn it, stop with the air attacks. Let me leave. Isn't it nighttime yet? Flank speed. Turn the radar on, boys. Maybe they're just fighters. They appear to just be fighters. I'd rather take him directly head first, I think. All right. They're coming on this. They're coming on the side of the ship. Turn the ship. Actually, we should turn into it, not away. Too late. The captain made the fateful decision. Too late. Should have stayed with the merchant. No, I'm pretty confident that we still got less air attacks if we stayed independent. No time fuse 5 shells for the anti-air duty? Not yet, Super. That was later in the war. They didn't have that yet by August of 42, I don't believe. Fucking A. Well, we took a few hits there, boys. Heavy damage. Speed reduced to 30%. They're hitting the other one, too! A lot of super the bridge got shredded. We probably lost the captain, but at least this strafing attack didn't sink her. God, she's ablaze. Oh, there's 4 groups? Well, no, 2 groups of 4. I think the battle is over. Cut speed. Make turns for 0 knots. Maybe that'll help with the flooding. Or I guess 2 knots is fine. We're repairing the fires and the flood damage. Heavy damage. She's ablaze. Do you have to restart the campaign every update, Ish, to get the updates? You think so for the big changes? Well, damn it. That would suck. Considering I don't really want to just, like, restart this campaign that we're, like, 15 hours into. No, I'm not going to leave it. It's almost nighttime. I'm hopeful we can get away at night if she doesn't sink now. Probably could have set off a depth charge or 2 also, right? They do like to burn. Air power's overrated, Brent. Just like Tom Brady. Tell that to Force Z. Oh, man. The only reason Force Z sank is they didn't have biplanes with them. I get to wait another 80 seconds. I don't know what class that this is. I thought they were Fletchers, but I guess they don't look right. Those rear turrets should be actual turrets if they're Fletchers, right? Hey, salty Packers fan, you're a dissatisfied Raiders fan? I'm not salty. I just think that Tom Brady throughout his career has had a lot of help. And I think if you put Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes or Brett Favre or, you know, any of the elite quarterbacks in his situation, I think they do similar. Maybe they don't win 6 Super Bowls with New England. Maybe they win 4 or 5. But this greatest of all time talk. He's had a top 10 defense 8 years in his career. Aaron Rodgers has had that twice. One of the years they won a Super Bowl, and the other year was this year, and that was not a top 10 defense. I don't care what the stats say. So we won't get all into football. I'm just saying that when you play with a team that is always absolutely stacked on the defensive side, and you get a lot of help around you, it makes things different. Like Peyton Manning had to be basically Michael Jordan for them to win. Aaron Rodgers had to be Michael Jordan for them to win. They very rarely had elite defenses behind them, whereas Tom Brady's always had pretty much good defenses. I mean, you could argue Tampa Bay's defense yesterday won that game, not Tom Brady. Okay, so let's see what these guys are here. Well, it doesn't even tell me, but it's the Cummings and the Mahan. So it's probably a Mahan class, right? That is a class of destroyers, I think. Yeah. So one of them is the Mahan. No. Yeah, one of them is the Mahan. And then, yeah, they're Mahan classes. We've lost one Mahan. One's being repaired, so. No one said it's a fluke special, but I think you get diminishing returns with quarterbacks. So I never said that Brady isn't one of the best of all time. I'm just saying I think you could change him out with any of the other top quarterbacks of all time and they would have similar success because of the situation he was in. I think at the top level of quarterback, I think you get diminishing returns. Like if you're talking, let's say you're forming a team and you've got Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, you're probably not going to win more than one game or lose more than one game between the two of them. Like maybe Mahomes is a little bit better, but he's not 5 games better. He's maybe 1 game better than Rodgers. And so really what it comes down to is the rest of the players around him, not whether Rodgers or Mahomes is better. Okay, so is it nighttime yet? Can I get my destroyers out of there? These guys are moving slow, probably because they're so badly damaged. But the good news is it's nighttime. The Marines, meanwhile, are like coming back, right? All right, Task Force 6. Let's pause. Let's release these guys to get repaired. How long do land battles last? Probably till you have enough troops to take the base. I think we need reinforcements is all I'll say. Let's see here. What does it say? So we just send the North Carolina and the other ships off for repair. So if we go to repair, the North Carolina is going to be out of action for 5 days being repaired. The Atlanta 8, the Brooklyn 5, the Fletcher 4, the Portland 4, the Mahan 9, the Tambor 2, and the Mahan 1. You can see we got some additional command points for releasing those ships. We'll get more when they're done repairing. You're still losing with 6K? I think, honestly, you need 10,000 troops. All right, and that's going to do it for this episode of War on the Sea. A little bit more editing this time around, trying to show some highlights, but there was a lot of air combat. I actually cut quite a bit of air combat out. This was actually like the first hour and a half, hour 40 of the stream, and there was just a lot that I cut out. I tried to show the key points of the ship getting sunk by the subs and sort of the landing of the troops on the island and all of that jazz, but the war's not going well, and I think one of the key areas that I probably missed out on was I think for the Allies, you need to kind of rush Guadalcanal early, because if you don't, and I've been reading through different forums about the campaign, the AI, and I thought the AI played with the same rules, but I was wrong. I was reading through some websites, I was looking into some stuff, looking at the files. The AI basically just essentially has unlimited troops. Right? So they are just able to drop infantry everywhere, massively overwhelm you. They get way more infantry than you do. Obviously, everybody gets unlimited cargo ships, but they don't really play by the same command point rules. I think they might play by the same rules in terms of, like, how many ships you're allowed to have at any one time. But, like, if they lose their ships, they just get to replenish their losses. Rather, where the Allies, if they lose their ships, they lose command points, and they don't have the ability to get those back unless they sink Japanese shipping. And I think the same is true when you play as the Japanese against the Americans. So just something to keep in mind. It is what it is. For that reason, I actually kind of wonder if it would be really maybe more interesting to play as the Japanese side, just to get that sense of like growing American, industrial, overwhelming sort of sense of dread and doom of the Americans. Just, they just keep coming, right? Because like Japan had a lot of success in the Guadalcanal campaign, especially early on, Savo Island or Savo Island and some other things. But the Americans just wore them down, especially in the air. So I kind of wonder, if it, or even like around the Santa Cruz Islands and some of the other carrier actions as well, like the Japanese really held their own in several of those carrier actions in the campaign, but the Japanese couldn't maintain the operational tempo of the Americans, and eventually, even when the American carriers were sort of forced out of the theater due to damage and other things like that, the Japanese, they couldn't seize the initiative because they were worn down, and the Americans eventually, brought more and more forces to bear. And so I think it's an interesting way to model the campaign, especially if you're playing as the Japanese, where resources should be at a premium. Not that the Americans weren't. Like, after Savo Island and at some points in the campaign, the U.S. was, like, down to their last cruisers because they had suffered so many casualties. But the Americans also had, 30 more coming back in the States that were being manufactured. The Japanese didn't build a single heavy cruiser in the entire war. So it's an interesting thought. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Hope you guys are enjoying this series. Again, I know it's not perfect, polished, or anything like that. These come from live streams on my Twitch channel. So there is a bit of, talking through the experience as I play it, unlike some other YouTubers who aren't necessarily live streaming it. And so I think they have more methodical approaches, which is good depending on what you're looking for in a series. What I'm aiming for is something that's interesting, entertaining, lets you see the experience of playing the game as you would experience it, as a player would experience playing it, and not having perfect knowledge and understanding of the game. That may not always make for the cleanest experience, because sometimes it's kind of like, well, damn it, like you don't understand this one piece, or you don't understand this other piece of how the game works, and so you're making mistakes. On the other side, people making mistakes, in my opinion, is more interesting to watch, and might give you, the player, a better understanding of like what you'll experience when you play. But that's all I've got there. Anyway, guys, hope you're enjoying the series. Let me know your thoughts down below. And in our next video, we get to see some more battleships in action, so that'll be fun. But until then, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.